Greetings YouTube, I'm the Onion Knight Brian Hernandez bringing you the plant-based news. Starting with food news, we head to Omaha, Nebraska, where a vegan hot dog stand is actually winning over meat eaters. If you're lucky enough to live in Omaha, Nebraska, you might run into Mick Ridgway and his vegan hot dog stand, Fomaha Hot Dogs. Who doesn't love this guy already in the hot dog suit and that awesome name, Fomaha? It wasn't long ago that the dog father questioned whether vegan dogs would sell in Omaha. However, Chef Isa Chandra Moskowitz of the local restaurant Modern Love encouraged Ridgway to stick with his initial idea. Fomaha sold 70 hot dogs on opening day and business has been booming ever since. Favorites include the barbecue dog with coleslaw, smoky coconut bacon, and barbecue sauce. That sounds amazing. The banh mi with pickled carrots and radish, sriracha mayo, mint, and cilantro. Also sounds pretty freaking good. And the original with a choice of ketchup, mustard, dill relish, onions, jalapeno, sauerkraut, and sriracha. Quick hot dog joke. What did the Zen Buddhist say to the vegan hot dog vendor? Could you make me one with everything? Moving now to Washington, D.C., the Physicians Committee recently held the International Conference on Nutrition in Medicine.
Here we are in Washington, D.C. We have an important message for America. Break the meat habit, and 100 doctors want to tell you about it.
The medical conference featured prominent speakers, powerful and practical information, and tools for medical specialists and their practices. Speakers included Professor Gerald Barrison, Dr. Carolyn Trapp, and Dr. Neil Bernard. Some further information: in the mid-1980s, the National Academy of Sciences published a landmark report highlighting the lack of adequate nutritional education in medical schools. The writers recommended a minimum of 25 hours of nutrition instruction. In a more recent study, it seems that even 2.5 decades later, the majority of medical schools still fail to meet the recommended 25 hours of instruction. Moving now to Portland, Oregon, we see that Italy isn't the only place that you can be discriminated against if you are vegan. Portland was recently named by PETA the most vegan-friendly city in America. However, the owners of Pip's Donut Shop recently took a heroic stand against having compassion for animals when they posted a want ad looking for, quote, a new barista that has basic skills, a friendly, outgoing personality, and no non-medical, non-religious dietary restrictions that would stop you from tasting, accurately representing our treats, and maintaining quality control. That'll save Pip's Donut Shop a lot of trouble. Donuts taste like sugar, salt, fat, and yeast. There, now no one is forced to eat the donuts. Continuing the vegan revolution north to Toronto, where it's recently become illegal to discriminate against someone who is vegan, the annual Toronto Rib Fest was virtually deserted on July 23rd. An event unprecedented in 20 years of Ribfest as described by locals. This footage comes from Vegan Nut on YouTube.
Here I am sitting at the empty tables at Ribfest. Well, okay, there's two people. Nice and empty. Ribfests are always packed with people, but I guess not anymore. The word is out that eating pig's ribs is bad for everybody.
By contrast, let's take a look at pretty much every vegan food festival right now. Oh my goodness, would you look at that. Moving now to South Wales, Australia. Greyhound racing is to be banned.
Their words to me were something really bad is going on there, and they said it smells like death.
New South Wales becomes the first state in Australia to ban greyhound racing. Mike Baird says the government was left with, quote, no acceptable course of action except to close this industry down. Detailed plans for the shutdown will be developed with industry consultation. Racing greyhounds routinely experience injuries on tracks such as broken legs, cardiac arrest linked to forced drug use like cocaine, spinal cord paralysis, and broken necks. They suffer off the track as well. Dogs caught up in the cruel industry spend most of their lives stacked in warehouse-style kennels for 20 or more hours a day, or are kept outdoors in dirt pens with minimal shelter. Most enclosures are not heated or air-conditioned. Many dogs suffer from fleas, ticks, and internal parasites and are not provided basic veterinary care, human affection, or adequate sustenance. While greyhounds may live 13 or more years, they are usually 18 months to 5 years old when they are retired from racing because they are either deemed unfit to race after an injury or no longer fast enough to be profitable. Moving now to Britain, have you heard about this 14-year-old girl who has taken on Britain's biggest supermarkets and won?
Hi everyone, this morning I heard the incredible news that Tesco have decided to stop selling eggs from cage hens by 2025.
Lucy Gavigan owns several chickens herself, and when she found out that millions of eggs sold in supermarkets come from hens kept in cages about the size of an A4 sheet of paper, she knew she wanted to take a stand. Lucy started petitions on change.org, took her story to national media, and inspired hundreds of thousands to take action. Her campaign has won with Tesco, Morrison's, and now Asda all announcing plans to stop selling eggs from caged hens. Were you that awesome when you were 14? I know I certainly was, and I think we can all take a lesson from 14-year-old Lucy on doing what we can to help. Great job, Lucy. And finally, in literature, the infamous Jonathan Safran Foer is releasing a new novel called Here I Am on September 6th. Here I Am is Foer's first novel since 2005's Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and his second since Everything is Illuminated, both of which were adapted into feature films.
Are you hungry?
Yes, I just hope they have something I can eat.
What do you mean?
I'm a vegetarian.
You're a what?
I don't eat meat.
How can you not eat meat?
I just don't.
Дилан вообще никакого мяса.
What you won't read on the BuzzFeed or New York Times book reviews is that Jonathan Safran Foer, previously portrayed by the lovable Elijah Wood, and the genius with the golden pen that the world is waiting for, is a longtime vegan, and his last book in 2009 was actually called Eating Animals, which explores the ugly truth of killing and eating animals and its place in the world we live today. If you'll allow me to read an excerpt. While it is always possible to wake a person who's sleeping, no amount of noise will wake a person who is pretending to be asleep. And my personal favorite, we can't plead ignorance, only indifference. Those alive today are the generations that came to know better. We have the burden and the opportunity of living in the moment when the critique of factory farming broke into the popular consciousness. We are the ones of whom it will be fairly asked, what did you do when you learned the truth about eating animals? A very good question from Mr. Foer indeed. So what exactly did you do when you first learned the truth about eating animals? Let us know in the comment section below, and for my breakdowns on voting vegan in the 2016 election, click the link in the description box. This has been the Onion Knight, Brian Hernandez, bringing you the plant-based news.